Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan back again with another podcast. As always, we are here with the content for you, the fans, the viewers. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. As you guys already know, if you're flipping hiding in the rock, you won't know who these guys are. But we have got today flawless. And probably the best jacket I've seen. Obviously, a lot better than I get. Yes.
Miles better than I get.
Yes, love that. And we've got Aaron here. If you don't already know, Aaron is very close to 5K. So if you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe to his flipping channel because it's free. Yes. So make sure you show some love. The links are down in the description as always. Aaron, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. We've got our first signing finally, so I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy.
Hallelujah, man. Hallelujah. I was starting to think it's going to be an absolute disaster, but we haven't got Saeed. I don't know if you haven't noticed. It's not Saeed. It's Adam. Adam, how you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, no, top notch, mate. Top notch. I'm just loving this Manchester rainy weather. In from work and time to chill and talk some football with the boys. Looking forward to it.
Yes. You love to see. Obviously, it's always raining in Manchester. That's the standard procedure. You just have to get used to it. Like I've already mentioned, the links to the guys' socials will be in the description, so make sure you show them love. Also, we're going to get straight into it. We're going to start with Van der Beek. As Aaron said before, we got disconnected. We finally signed someone. I'll get your thoughts first and foremost, Adam, before we come to you, Flawless, because I've seen your tweets a bit, so I know you've got a lot to say. But, Adam, what are your thoughts regarding the signing? Obviously, just the general consensus regarding it.
Buzzing with the signing, mate. Perfect player for United. Perfect attitude. He's well known what he's like off the pitch as well as on it. His work ethic, his whole demeanour, everything about him. Everyone I've listened to talking about Donny van der Beek this week on the radio has just had. They've all been full of praise for him, and it's not all like we said. We know what he does on the pitch. His stats don't lie. They say everything you need to know. It's what he's like off the pitch as well. He's infectious. He's a family guy. He trains hard. He gets on well with all the rest of the squad. He's just going to come and integrate straight into this United team. And you know what? It's another little bit of upbeat news. We've got another player there who's going to add to what we've got already. And you know what? He's a winner, isn't he? He's a winner. Yeah, people will say he's only in the Dutch league, but the guy's used to winning. And you know what? If he spits his dummy out when we don't win, a bit like Bruno, I'm all for that. We need more characters like that, more winners in the team. And you know what? He fits into a few different positions and gives us more options in terms of formations, tactics. And you know what? Strength in depth has been the ultimate criticism of this United team and this United squad. And you know what? This just adds to it in that midfield now, which is scarily, definitely, it's at least on a par with one of the best in the league, but I'm pushing it up there to say that, you know what, this is probably the best midfield in the league. Wow. It's the best midfield we've had since Fergie. Let's not lie. It's not lie. It's definitely. 100%. So Van der Beek, brilliant signing. Absolutely buzzing with that signing and how quickly it happened, and probably even happy with even more.
I know. I think that the fact that it was so quick, I think it threw everyone off guard. I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the sort of fan channels I saw, obviously with your guys' content as well, that everyone just uploaded a video on transfer news, Van der Beek's linked to us, and then literally 2 hours later, it was done deal. So I was like, oh shit. I wasn't expecting that at all. But coming to you, Flawless, regarding the signing itself, obviously a lot has been said, mainly from rival fans, talking about our midfield and the fact we don't need him, hypothetically speaking. What are your thoughts on everything that's been spoken about this signing in general?
That's wild. I think certain people on social media, I can't go as far as to say they're not United fans, but I believe a lot of so-called United fans are on social media just to complain. How is this a bad deal? Like, I don't understand. How is this a bad deal? How is this a bad deal? We need strength in depth.
It's not.
We need strength in depth. He adds to that. He was a good price. Like the price, people are really overlooking the price. He was 40 million, we're talking, which is peanuts. When we were talking Declan Rice, 80, 90 million. So this is
Madison 70 or something. Apparently.
70 million. And this is someone, look at his age, he's 22, 23. He can play as an 8, he can play as a 10. Technically sound. Adam Matic mentioned as well when he was on From a Third Eye View on Monday with us about his defensive stats and how he's good defensively, also his character. So I'm very happy about this signing, and it's a step in the right direction. Is it the first signing we all wanted? No, because we know there's other areas that need to be addressed. But I'm not going to complain and say, oh, it's not a good signing because we haven't signed Sancho or we haven't got a holding midfielder or a centre back or a left back. I just hope that he's not the only signing. There has to be more. But hopefully this is a start. And the speed that the deal got done as well, you have to. I can't really big up the United hierarchy, but I can big up Van der Sar because supposedly it was him. But salute to everyone involved. We don't do business like this. This is a great deal. Like, it's rare that it's a great deal.
It shows you, doesn't it? Shows you what happens when you've got a director of football and he's not even working for us.
Exactly.
How easy it is.
Easy. And like I said, even if he does flop, which I highly doubt he will, he was only 40 million. So it's like deals are out there to be done. But like I said, I just hope he's not the only signing. There has to be more added onto it. Depending on, I've been on your show and said I think United need four signings, and that was without Donny van der Beek. I think if we want to win a league title, we still need 4 signings. If we want to challenge, I'd probably say 2. So if we get 2 more signings, I would be happy with that.
Right, you just obviously I completely agree with what you said in terms of his absolute penis. I think it's 40 million euros if I'm not mistaken. So it just come down to like 35 million. So for the caliber player.
Let's put that into perspective. You talking about half of Maddison's price tag, and that's someone who's not. It's not like Maddison's Premier League open year in year out. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you talking Declan
That
Rice?
should tell you everything you need to know. Half of Maddison, half of Grealish. You know what I mean?
Half of Grealish. A guy whose team just got relegated. Declan Rice was in a West Ham side that was absolutely garbage for pretty much the whole year. They just about survived relegation. And you go and get a player like this at that age for that price. It's like, come on, man. I mean, great deal all around.
Yeah, no, I completely echo the sentiment. I think for me personally, the reason I'm so happy with the deal, not only because it's quality, but the fact that our team can actually make a deal and it's not all regarding Sancho. Because the one thing that's been pissing me off is the fact that, obviously, I'm not to use Chelsea as an example, but they've signed 3 players in the space of 3 days. Why are we just sat waiting for Sancho? Like, it's almost like, when you're just waiting for someone's text, I don't give a shit about you, basically. You're like, you just sat there waiting for that text. It's like, just move on, man. There's other people out there. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't need to just wait there for that one text. Just move on, mate. It's done. It might not be
that's what it is.
Just leave it there, bro. Just come back later when it comes back to you, sort of thing.
That's good. You mentioned, sorry to interrupt you there, but it just to touch on that, then it's like now the Upamecano deal looks like it wasn't even in for him. So leave it, move on. Let's get moving quicker. You know what I mean? Like you said, just move on to the next one quickly. Let's not let it dwell. I think we just need to employ Romano just to break out all the news all the time so we know where we stand. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Give him 20 million, man. Let him do the deals for us. He knows everybody, man. Aaron, what are your thoughts on Van der Beek, man? I know you're a massive fan of technical players in general, but, talk to the people, because like I was saying to Adam before you guys came on, a lot of United fans, for some reason, saying, we don't need him, because I think they think that only 11 people play football. Like, I don't think they understand that you're allowed substitutes and something called a squad. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, do you know what? I was given the same reaction. I was actually speaking to someone and I was like, do people actually not know that football is you've got a squad on the pitch, but you also have people on the bench? Like, do you know that? We can make 3 substitutions. Well, 5 now. Listen, I'm very happy with this signing. Van der Beek is someone that, I've watched a lot, obviously, in the Champions League as well. I'm used to watching a lot of youth football as well. I've seen him play with the youth teams on TV with Ajax, and I was always impressed by, how quietly he goes about his business, but still has a lot of impact on his team and the team's performance. And he's always been that type of player. And then as soon as he burst onto the scene with Ajax's first team, he kind of came to life and he was able to show his talent. What impresses me the most about him is his ability to arrive late in the box, not even late, just arrive in the box as a midfielder, and his finishing as well, man. For a midfielder, he finishes like a striker. You look at some of the goals he scored in the Champions League against Chelsea away, against Juve away, against who else? Tottenham away. All these finishes are inside the box and are proper striker finishes. So I'm looking forward to him doing the same thing with us. And like you said, man, for me, the fact that he costs £40 million doesn't mean he has to be a starter. It doesn't mean anything to me. To me, it's just another quality player we add to the team. another option off the bench. He can be a starter or a bench player. Yeah. If the going gets tough, let's say we play a tough game, and it can happen to anyone. Anyone can have a bad day. It can happen to Bruno. It can happen to Pogba. It can happen to anyone. Matic, Fred, anyone out there. We can then look on the bench and go, all right, cool. We've got something there. Right, Donny, you get yourself warmed up. Yeah. Go on the pitch and show us what you got. Now we've got the confidence to do that. Before, we used to have to look on the bench and see Pereira, Mata, Lingard. And you're like, oh, do I really want to risk taking Pogba off? But he's tired, so I have to do it. But then you do take him off and the quality drops. Yeah. Now we can bring Donny van der Beek on and the quality doesn't drop. And this is what I'm happy about.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the key point for me in terms of this is what I don't like about football fans in general. Every single football fan that sports may not, well, not every, most fans were complaining about the drop off and the substitutes happening. And now we've signed someone, like you just mentioned, the drop off's not going to be there. Because on his day, he could be better than Bruno. I think people think Bruno's invincible because of what he's done. You know, he's going to have off days. Pogba's going to have off days. Obviously, Pogba's world class. They're both world class on the day. But they're going to have off days. And like you mentioned, his ability to arrive late in the box, I just find himself in pockets of space in the box. And his eye for goal as well is something that we have been missing for years. He's just, yes, Bruno has got that. And Pogba, of course, has got that in his locker. But Van der Beek is someone that's going to have the license to get into the box because it's natural to him. It's not, I wouldn't say it's natural to Pogba to get into a position to score. I think for Van der Beek, he knows where the areas are to get that goal. Just coming to you, Adam, just regarding his role in the team, obviously we kind of alluded to it already, but in terms of his best position of what it means for other players within the squad, a lot of people are talking about obviously McTominay first for some reason. I'm not sure why more people are talking about Pereira easily, but I'll let you answer that. Where do you think he fits into the squad, and who do you think he's displacing from arguably the bench or from the starting lineup?
Oh, Aaron touched on it there in terms of his striker ability. I mean, this guy can play in our front three. So I'm not necessarily saying the midfielders should be watching over the shoulder. This guy can play. This guy can play a Bruno. He can play a Pogba. I wouldn't put him in the holding midfield role as much. I think that's hampering him a little bit because you don't want to discipline a player whose natural instinct is to attack and go forward. Yeah, he does his defensive duties. Like Flawless said before, his tackling stats and the way he gets back. But if you look at where he makes these stats, where he's doing these tackles, he's winning the ball high up the pitch. Yeah. This guy in the team gives you an option to high press as well, because the energy at that level, you've got a Bruno who will do it, Van der Beek who will do it. And you know what? This is what I was saying the other day on my channel. I was saying, Ollie now has got no excuse to have a plan B. Absolutely. You know what? There's a different way of playing right now. We could play all three, Bruno, Pogba, and Van der Beek in a team in certain games. I'm not saying this is the way forward. It'd be suicidal if we did that. But there's a game there where all three of these guys can play, and we can defend from the front easily. We have got more than enough to cover any of these teams. Anyone who wants to play a low block, fine, no problem now. Yeah. You know, we've got options. We've got options going forward. This guy can open up a defence. He can high press, like I said, win the ball back further up the field. He's that tenacious. He can get back in a heartbeat. His natural instinct is to help the team, which is a massive plus for us because, you know what, we've got certain players in there who we know the capabilities and what they can do. But this guy just wants to be, he just reminds me of Bruno in his attitude. And like I said at the start of the show there, the winning mentality, it is, Dutch league, but that winning mentality is infectious. And the more them type of play we've got in the squad, never mind the team, then do you know what? It's only going to get better for us. It's only going to encourage the rest of our squad to wax the same way. And good times, really. In terms of who would be worried more, I would say the likes of Fred and McTominay are the ones who are going to be worried more. I mean, you know what I mean? Imagine if United went and got Thiago. One of them two's got to go for me. It's not going to fit. One of them has to go.
If we get
one of them have to go.
I'm messaging.
I agree.
Straight away.
Serious, man. I'd be looking. If I said this before, I think McTominay is happy to be a Nicky Butt Phil Neville. I don't think Fred is happy. He wants to play first team football. He thinks more of himself, and that's no disrespect to Scott McTominay. He's you know what? He's a local. He's not local. He's Scottish, I know, but he's been brought up through the youth system. Yeah. He knows what it's all about. He'll have had that drilled into him by Nicky Butt. You know what I mean? There's a place and a role for you at Manchester United. And a lot of players are happy to do that. You have to accept that you're not as good as what's on that pitch, but there's a role for you to play. I don't see Fred thinking that way. I think he wants to be in that Brazil squad. He wants to be playing week in, week out. I'd be more worried if it was Fred, simply because of how I think Scott McTominay looks at it to how Fred looks at it. No different, not like bringing up he's a better player than him, he does this better than him, and so on and so forth. It's more like how I think each player is looking at it. But you know what? I don't care. I really do not care who he's worried about being dropped, because you know what I mean? This gives Pogba and Bruno a kick up the arse.
Yeah.
Because they walk into the team every week at the moment, and no one walks straight into a United team. I don't care who it is. I love Bruno. I love Pogba. But if you're not doing it, Donny's there. And that's the difference now. Aaron touched on it. Donny's there. Different way of looking at things. A different option. And that's what we've not had before. You know, you bring a Pereira on, you might as well just put your feet up, mate, and just settle for what's happening on the pitch straight away. What's happening there, and then it's nothing's going to change, is it? Crack open a fresh can and just accept that we're not going to change anything here. And
oh my God,
Donny van der Beek, different ball game. Now, if we do touch into Thiago later on, then holy shit. That's a different ballgame altogether. That's another level again.
We'll discuss Thiago in a second, but just to come back on what you said, first and foremost regarding Pereira, right? The moment I remember from him this season, when he scored against last when we were 4-0, I think he'd been 4-0 up at the time. He scored the 5th goal, one of the shittest goals you ever see. Then keeper made a mistake and then literally celebrate like he scored the 99th minute winner in the World Cup. Like, I don't know what was going on. So if that's the mentality we have in the squad, you might as well go to Arsenal, mate, because they love a shit trophy, innit, to celebrate over. But anyways, let's talk about Fred. Okay, I was going to go into the formation in a second because a lot of people have been saying regarding the diamond. Obviously, as you alluded to, against a team that plays a low block, a diamond might be an option. Although I would be a bit worried regarding the lack of width, but obviously we'll touch on it shortly. Just regarding Fred, is there a possibility that I can play DM flawless? Because I personally think from the last 2 games I've seen of him, I'm not saying he's the best option we've got there, but in terms of what he offers in transition, he's a lot better than Matic. Like, for me personally, and obviously he's more tenacious across the ground, that kind of thing. Do you think he's got a role there, or do you think he needs to pack his bags, as some people are saying in the comments?
No, he definitely has a role. I don't understand the Fred slander. I don't get it at all. Is he a world-class DM that we need if we want to challenge for titles and Champions Leagues? No. But as Aaron's alluded to already, strength and depth is key. And can someone like Fred play a role in that? Yes, to me, he's the best DM we have. Tenacious, quick across the ground, left foot, right foot. Like, what more do you good on the ball? He always shows for the ball. And that's a key thing as well, that he never hides. No matter if United are 3-0 up or 3-0 down. And a lot of the time he does get caught on the ball is because nobody's showing. And he always, what I like about him is he always tries to play forward. And whether he's playing it into the either of the fullbacks, he'll play it with pace and he'll play it in front of them. So it's like, yeah, Fred can definitely, what Kante has done, Fred is more than capable of doing in that defensive capacity. But then again, that leads into systems. If United are dominating the ball, which we should be, if United have a midfield of Fred, Pogba, Bruno, or you put Van der Beek, any mix of those 3, we should be dominating the ball against most teams. Like, minus the top 6, there's no way that a Southampton should be coming to Old Trafford and in the second half having 65% of the ball. What is going on? Like, yes, DMs are key in Champions League. So say you're going away to the Bernabeu, or you're going to the Nou Camp, or to Bayern, or teams like that. Yes, you might need a more destructive DM, like an Ndidi, for instance. I use him as an example. But yes, Fred can definitely play a role. And even if, say, United were to sign Thiago, if Fred doesn't ask to leave, I would still keep him because he's good backup to have. If we did so, say, for instance, it was Thiago, Bruno, Pogba. That's our midfield. That's our main midfield 3. And then backing that up, we have, see the smile on your face, Osman. We love that.
That's ridiculous, man. It's not happening, bro. I'm not even going to say it's happening on camera because I've got a feeling it's going Liverpool science and shit.
Yeah, so say, for instance, that's our main midfield 3. And then after that, backing that up, you have Fred, McTominay, Van der Beek. That's strength and depth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's options if somebody's not playing well. Adam mentioned it. Pogba or Bruno at this moment in time walk into our first team. But now if Donny van der Beek or Fred are there, it's like, okay, if they're playing well, maybe you drop out. And I think, put some respect on Fred's name. Yeah. And I think Pogba is mismanaged, and that's why I want us to sign a more defensively sound midfielder. Because you mentioned it there when you said about Donny van der Beek going forward. Pogba can do it. It's just that he's playing as a DM for whatever reason. He's playing as a 6, but it is what it is.
Yeah, just before passing to you, I think for me personally, people's perception of the CDM role, DM role, you need to evolve with the times as well. Like Bayern Munich have just won the Champions League. They're the best team in the world. They've got Thiago playing there. You know, a lot of people were having to go at Aaron about a month ago when he came on saying, "Oh, Thiago's not CDM," and the people saying, "Oh, lambasting Aaron." The same people now want him at our club. That's all I'm saying. Here's
the thing. I think there's 2 versions of DMs. You have your destructive DM, like an MDD, like a Thomas Partey, who would just sit in front of the back 4, break up play, and then play it to the more creative players. But then you have your more DMs like Thiago, like a Pirlo-esque, who will get it off the back 4 and play it. They're less destructive and more interceptions.
And they're the guys. They're the ones who can read the game a lot better.
Yes, they're the ones that read the game.
They can run a game.
Yeah. And it's a preference thing. Is what do you prefer? Do you prefer the destructive DM or do you prefer the deep line playmaker? Me personally, I prefer the more destructive. That's why I'm on the Thomas Partey if we sign an Ndidi. But if we were to sign the Thiago, I'm not going to be like, no, he's what we need. We need a DM.
Anyone is saying no to Thiago. Everyone say no to him.
We need a DM. Yeah, we need a DM.
Aaron, I'll pass it to you, obviously, and then obviously you can go into Thiago as well, because that was the next question anyways. So regarding Fred, does he have a role at the club? Do you think it's DM? And obviously you can talk about Thiago. Obviously, everyone knows how much of a fan you are regarding him.
You know what? I don't like the idea of getting rid of Fred because we could keep him in the squad because we're going to have a lot of games, and not just a lot of games, but a lot of hard games as well. People seem to forget that we're in the Champions League now. I don't know, but you just got to remind people every now and then that we're in the Champions League. This is not the Europa League.
Yeah.
Now we're stepping it up a notch. This is a different planet now we're on. The Champions League, you're not going to be playing against your teams in Ukraine that you can get bypassed and you can play. You can have a bad game and win games and in the end and nick it 1-0. This is not the Europa League. This is the Champions League now, where you're gonna have to be on your A game from the first second. Yes, there will be lesser teams, but I'll tell you what, every team that's in the Champions League, deserves to be in the Champions League. So we're gonna have to be very, very careful with the way we play, and therefore I think we need all the players we can get. I don't think we can afford to lose players like Fred. If we lose Pereira, I won't be fussed. If we lose Lingard, I won't be fussed. But if it's Fred, who's had a very, very good spell, around December, January, he was our best player. Let's not kid ourselves. He was our best player in the team before Bruno came, and he deserves another opportunity, especially this season in the Champions League. His tenacity, and there you go. Fred's a proven Champions League player. I think so too. And I think there will be teams where we will need Fred's tenacity and his ability to just, take the ball off people and just move it onto someone else. And we do have people like Bruno, Pogba, and Donny now who can do stuff with the ball once you just give it to him. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I've seen the links obviously with Galatasaray and him going out on loan. I really, really hope that Manchester United won't do that. They won't let him go and they will just keep him because, like I said, we'll have a lot of games. We'll have a lot of tough games in the Champions League. There will be games, because obviously we didn't win the Europa League, so we're going to be second pot now, which means we're going to have one of the big champions. We're going to have PSG, Juve, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and Zenit St. Petersburg, and Sevilla, because they won the Europa League. So there will be games where we could play a Barcelona on, or maybe that's the worst example. We could play a Bayern Munich on a Wednesday and then play a Liverpool on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? So because of that mad schedule, we're going to need someone like Fred where you can play the likes of Matic in the Champions League if you want, or the other way around. But I'm just saying you can play the likes of Matic in the Champions League against the Bayern Munich. But then on a Sunday, if Matic's legs are dead or if he's tired, you can afford to bring a Fred on and say, here you go, play a full 90 minutes because Matic is tired. He's just played a hard game against the top Bayern Munich side.
Sorry to touch on that. Aaron just touched on it then. You're talking about who you're going to play. 6 Champions League group games. The games straight after them games are City, Liverpool, I think Arsenal, Southampton away, Everton away, West Ham away, straight after a Champions League game. That's official.
Gonna have to rotate as well.
So all the big guns are at home, but you've got Southampton, Everton, and West Ham all away. 3 teams we didn't win against last season, straight after a Champions League game. After they've had a full week off to prepare, squad depth is needed because we could lose out on top 4 in them 3 games. You know what I mean?
Well, we had just to, it's official.
That's official.
Just to add to that, I think people forget Pogba got injured for 90% of the season. I don't think people remember that we didn't have Pogba, we didn't have Rashford, Martial for long periods as well. You know, there's some people say we don't need an attacking player because we've got a front 3 of Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood. Because we're gonna get injuries as you guys are alluded to. The fixture congestion is just too much, isn't it? And that leads me on to Thiago, Adam. Obviously, I know Aaron's a huge fan anyways. I'll come back to it a bit shortly. But do you think it's going to happen? Because for me personally, I'm not even going to mention him to my night because I just think it's a foregone conclusion he's going to Liverpool, to be honest.
I think Liverpool have to break their wage structure to bring him in. I think that's why United have been linked in with him, to be honest. I mean, Christian Folk said the other day that Liverpool are still favourites. United have not made an official bid for him. I think United are hanging around there because, 1, he is stupidly cheap. 2, he's a Champions League winner. He's won everything. And adding a Champions League winner to your team is only gonna enhance our chances of any. But you just don't turn players of that quality down. It was a famous Fergie saying, wasn't it? When a certain player becomes available at the right price, it's go get him. It does not matter. You know what I mean? I think Robin Van Persie destroyed Shinji Kagawa's career at United because we weren't planning on getting Van Persie. But then he came available and Fergie just went out and got him. Yeah. And that's what it is. I mean, you could look at it and go, yeah, there's going to be too many chefs in the kitchen if we bring Thiago in with our midfield. Well, let's not think like stupid people here. Let's just look at it and go, he's a Champions League winner for 30 million. Are you really seriously not considering this? Because this guy's just got man of the match. And you've seen the talent that was on that pitch.
Unbelievable.
In that final. What? I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer because I just feel like it would be brilliant, but I'm sort of on the same page as you, really. I'm not going to be absolutely devastated if he goes to Liverpool because it has been them who have been well up linked heavily with him over the last few weeks, months even. So I just feel like he probably will end up there. I think if it comes available and we can get him, you just don't be silly, boys. Let's just go and get him because you know what, I can look at all them players in that squad and they would all learn from playing alongside a player like him and the experience that he has got and the quality that he has got. People don't take into consideration what a player can do for other players in the team, as well as what he can do for us. You know what I mean? The influence that players of this quality have, and we've seen it straight away this season, proven in when Bruno came in and how the mentality changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you was there, if you could see what Bruno does on the pitch live in the flesh, and Aaron's seen it, I think Flawless, you've seen it as well. The biggest point I had was when we went to Everton. You could see the way he plays and what he does off the ball, how he talks to players, how he makes things move quicker, even when it's simple little things like taking a throw in quicker rather than waiting for the defender to come up and take it. He just changes the way you play. Thiago would just be that and double for me because he is that good a player. To be there at Bayern Munich for that long, to win what he's won and still be doing it, he's not even that old. I don't know what people's issue is with the age thing either. He's 29. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's 29. Exactly. He's not old. You get 4 or 5 years of pure quality. But like you said, I'm sort of concerned like he is going to go to Liverpool. But absolute Brucey bonus if he does come. And it would be a no-brainer.
Well, if he does come, I might have to change that Martial on the back of my shirt to Thiago. I'm not going to lie. But again, I didn't say that if he goes to Liverpool. Just throwing that out there. Got a comment here. Again, I don't know if this is factual. So this is what Trigger's saying regarding his wages. Apparently, he's on 202 per week, or he's wanting that much, and Salah's on 220. That just surprised me if that is the case. That way, apparently said his wages are too high. I don't know. Flows, what do you reckon?
The thing with that, the reason why I think there's something in this, 2 reasons. One, if Liverpool were going to get it done. Like the price is cheap. Number two, Fabrizio has tweeted out and said United are interested. So we know if Fabrizio's tweeting it, it's facts. Like if Fabrizio tweeted out today, the world's ending tomorrow. We all expecting the world to end tomorrow. Like, no dispute. Like his word, I don't think there's anybody with a stronger word. Like
that's it, innit? When we get the weather forecast, to forget that, I'll just give a DM Fabrizio to say, is it raining tomorrow, mate? I'll take my umbrella.
It's always raining in Manchester. Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
That being said, if Liverpool were going to sign him, get the deal done, we spoke on his quality. We all know his talent. We spoke on his age. So the fact that Liverpool, and he improves Liverpool's first team because he gives their midfield something different. One thing that central midfielders don't have is that creative spark. Yeah. Even from a deep line place, like they're all much of a muchness.
You think they could be waiting on the Wijnaldum Barcelona?
Yeah, I think he's going Barca as well.
It might be that, but even if they're waiting on it, Wijnaldum clear it up for Thiago. So, and the thing is with Thiago as well, he's cheaper than Donny van de Beek, reportedly. And together, that point, he's cheaper than Donny van de Beek, number one, and number two, he walks into our first team. He
walks into many first teams in the world, man.
And this is the thing, and
he's
also
yes,
I mean? And Adam touched on it as well, making players better around you. To me, he's the perfect foil for Pogba. This is why I want us to sign a DM so bad, because I think that frees up Pogba, and then we get a new Pogba. Like people forget, during Ole's interim reign, that's why Pogba was on fire. He was assisting or scoring every game, literally on average during that run, and that's because he had Matic and Herrera doing his defensive work, and he was just free. So sign him, sign Thiago, get the deal done. You go and get him, as I said.
I completely agree with obviously what both of you said regarding Thiago. Just to come off Thiago, because obviously I know Aaron's already spoken about him in length. I just want to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for a second. Actually, the title of the video is Ole is hung out to dry, and I know a lot of people reading that probably thinking, what the hell am I on about? But just bringing it back down to earth, these are only rumours that we link to players. So hypothetically speaking, Upperman Corner deal doesn't look like it's going to happen. Potentially next summer, if we go back in for him. The Thiago deal, for me personally, I think he's going to Liverpool. Again, I'm hoping I'm wrong on both, obviously. The Sancho deal, we don't know what's happening there. So at the moment, there aren't many players that are, obviously we've already signed one player. The season starts in a week, and it just seems to me that they almost set Ole up to fail as it stands. Because if you don't get the players, we know Ole ain't going to be able to coach his way out of this. So, what are your thoughts, Aaron? Do you think the board are getting away with it with the Van der Beek one? The hyping is up. Oh, we're all happy now. We're linked to Thiago. We're linked to Upperman Corner. But truly and really, we've signed one player. And Chelsea signed 6. So, what's the situation? What do you reckon? Do you think it's a bit of a piss take on Ole's part?
You know what? I think the board are well aware that we need more than just one signing. I think they know that. I think Ole will have made it clear to them as well that he wants more than just one player, because he knows the quality of the Champions League. Obviously, he's played in it himself, so he knows the levels. He knows what it takes to play in that Champions League, and he knows as well that despite the weird links that we've had at the start of the transfer window, the likes of David Brooks, no disrespect, I think Ole knows that you need to improve the squad with sheer quality to be playing in that Champions League football with the quality that we already have. So I think, I was just going to say that. I think Ole and the board know that we need to sign a defender. I'm not too sure about Upamecano as well. I mean, he signed a new deal on the 31st of July. So I think it's highly unlikely that he'll come this season. If we do get him, then it's probably going to be next season. But that means we won't get a centre-back this season, which I think won't happen. I think we will get one. I think United will go again for that Monaco defender. I think we'll go in for another bid. And I think the second or the third one might be accepted. But then again, I don't know. Niko Kovac might want to keep his best players and add more quality to that Monaco side. So I don't know. But I think we'll go again for that Badiashile guy from Monaco. I think there's some serious interest in that left back from Sevilla as well, Reguilon. I think he's a very good left back, man. I've seen him obviously played against Arsenal and played in the final against Inter Milan. I really like him. But I think the board and Ollie know that we need to get more than just one signing. I don't think they'll be satisfied with just one. But then again, 2nd of September today? In 3 days, we've got 1 month left to get our business done. So things got to get rolling. The ball's got to get rolling, and we have to make the remainders of our signings quickly because, time's running out.
Yeah, no, I see. I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't even want to mention it, but Josh Kingsbury had an interview today talking about his dream move to Man United. I don't know why he's talking about that as well and why that's resurfacing. I feel like it's like, man,
just go away, piss off.
I'd want a dream move to Man United as well, mate, but I'm not fucking good enough. Hence why I'm saying, you, mate. That's just life, bro. You're not fucking. Stop.
You get me? I think we all would. I mean, like, forget Thiago. I'm free. I can play DM. You know what I mean? Let's go in it.
Exactly. I'll pay you fucking money to play. Don't worry, man. I've got this. But I'm coming to you, obviously, regarding, Aaron said Ollie quite clearly knows he needs more signings. I know Ollie knows that, but do you think the board are actually going to deliver? Because at the moment, as it stands, like Aaron's already said, we've literally got a month left until the window closes. We're so far behind the top three. It's actually embarrassing as it currently stands. I'm finding it difficult to put Man United in top four conversation. Obviously, if we do get in, it's because other teams below us aren't good enough, rather than our own credit. Where do you stand, Adam, on the whole situation?
Yeah, well, this is a massive season for Ollie now because some people saying he deserves another season. Some people say we're going to say Ollie needs to deliver this season. And why ain't Lampard under the same pressure with the amount of money he spent? But this is it. And I think Ollie, because the rumours coming out and the stories coming out in the media is he's actually said he wants 3 more players. So I think even Ollie realises that this is the one now. This is the season where we have to sort of improve. We have to be closing that gap to City and Liverpool, and we have to be winning a trophy. So what we're doing in the transfer window, obviously Van der Beek is bang on. Is exactly what we need in terms of the player, what he does, what he brings to the team. Defensively, I honestly, some people may disagree with this, but I just don't think there's anyone out there. I really don't. I'm not sold on Bashile. I think I can never say the guy's name.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't see a 19-year-old coming in and doing it at United. I mean, it's just a high-pressure position at the moment for this club, and there's so much scrutiny on it. I just don't want to go and.
What about Koulibaly? Sorry to interrupt you. Obviously, he's linked to Man City at the moment. But what
I'm not sold on him either, mate. I'm going to be honest. People will disagree with me again, but he can go to City. I just see a Mangala number 2. I really do. I see attributes in this guy that are just, you know what? I'm not for spending that amount of money on that guy. You can bring his age into it if you want. I'm not bothered about age. I'm really not. I just don't see. I understand qualities, but I mean, his stats are exactly the same as Chris Smalling, who we're getting rid of, and they're pretty much identical in terms of the 2 clubs that they were both playing at as well this season and what they've done. So I just don't. You know what? If he's going to be that much money, don't get me wrong. If it was a reasonable price, then maybe it would be worth it. If it's going to take away anything that we really want and need, which is Sancho for me, that's the one that I think needs to be prioritised. Right now, we've got a couple of good young defenders coming through our system. Who's to say they can't do a job rather than bringing someone else in like Bashile? You know what I mean? It's for me. This defender issue, Regularly on the left back, I do see movement in that one more than anything. In terms of a defender coming in this season, I would probably say that is probably the one that's probably got more movement in it. I do think that. The others, centre-back, I think we're struggling for. I really do. And if you mention Josh King again, I'm just going to take myself out of the video because I'm just taking the mick, boys. Don't even mention that man's name. I'm sick of it. You can take your Bournemouth players and go back down to the Championship where you belong. Absolute God, it just does nothing for us. There's nothing for us.
There's another comment regarding the Bournemouth player, but thankfully he's already gone to Man City as well. A lot of people are saying Ake as well, actually. Flores, I don't know what you think about that. People say we should have went for Ake. Obviously,
I don't understand.
Him.
Here's the thing: when City was interested in him, like, where did this come from? I must have blinked and missed something. Like Ake having this run of games, like I don't remember during the season where everyone was like, "Oh, Ake playing at Bournemouth is phenomenal." Like, where did it come from? Like, obviously we know teams getting relegated can have quality players, but I don't understand where the Aki links came from. Like the Josh King one, like I don't understand where that came from. It's not even like these lot were pulling up trees there, and it's like, all right, he deserves a move at a bigger club. Similar to Declan Rice as well. I don't get it. Maybe I just watch football, with completely different eyes because I don't understand it. Maddison, I get. I understand why Chilwell's got his move to Chelsea. Players like that. I understand why people like Ndidi because these players have played well in parts, so it makes sense. But your likes of Aki, and that's what it is. But I'm glad to hear United are interested, linked with a left back because we desperately need a left back. We desperately need a left back. Luke Shaw to me is not good enough, and Brandon Williams is young, and I think he played better as a right back. And as regards to centre backs, I'm sold on Upamecano. I want Upamecano. Tweeted out about it as well. Because Fabrizio tweeted something, and I just quote tweeted him, was like, sounds like to me Upamecano's on his way. That's not what he said, but that's what I took from the tweet.
I'm sure I've seen that tweet, Flores. I was going to mention, you just reminded me. That way he basically said the deal's not happening. Then you were like, don't really do it, lads. Don't really do it.
That's what I said in it. That's what I tweeted. That's what I took from it. Upamecano's en route. You got to lie to yourself a little bit, man. It's only social media. People take it too serious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Aaron, just come in, just to finish off on transfer, then we'll go into season expectations. Just before going to that, I just want to say, if you are watching live, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 600, and also make sure you show love to the boys. Their socials are down below. And as I mentioned at the start, Aaron is close to 5K. We need to get to 5K. Okay, so no pissing about. It's free to subscribe. Make sure you do that. Anyways, Aaron, coming to you regarding transfers. What do you think we need, basically? Obviously, you don't need to go into names, but in terms of positions, obviously, Flawless mentioned, we still need quite a few players to win the title. In your ideal world, in terms of what's realistic, what do you think we should go for? Because obviously, everyone's going to say Upamecano, but I just personally don't think it's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Upamecano is off the table as well. But yeah, we definitely need a centre-back to give some kind of competition to Maguire and Lindelof, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. I think we need a central defensive midfielder. We need a left back, and I would try and go for obviously a right winger as well. A right winger, preferably Jadon Sancho, but I don't know what's going on with this one. We don't know. And I would look at the option to have another striker in, because obviously Igalo's only staying till January. So once he goes, again, we'll only have Martial. And let's say Sancho doesn't come in, we'll only have Mason Greenwood on the right. And I don't think, as much as I rate him and as much as everyone rates him and sees his talent, I don't think he'll be ready for a full season of Champions League, FA Cup, and all these games lined up one after another. And Adam mentioned it earlier. The games we have after Champions League games are just ridiculous. And I don't know if Greenwood will be ready to play a Bayern Munich on a Wednesday and then a Manchester City on a Sunday. It's going to be tough for him. So we need to fill up those positions where we can rotate easily. So yeah, I would say centre back, left back, right wing. That's 5 players. I know it's hard, but it's hard.
Sorry to put you up, Aaron.
That's realistic, though. That's what we need.
Let me talk about the priorities then instead of what I want.
Let's do priorities.
Centre back, right winger, that's 2, and central defensive midfielder, that's 3.
Left back, man. You don't think left backs? I think left back's vitally important as well. You don't think it's vital?
I think it's vital to a certain extent, but I think it's very vital.
Aaron, do you want Fosu Mensah left back against Bayern Munich? That's the question.
Oh, no.
There you go. If we get one injury, then that's basically what's happening, because Luke Shaw.
Okay, that's a good point you made there. Then that's a very good point, because I didn't think that.
Now gets Fosu Mensah, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Sane. Oh my God, I don't even know.
Manchester's going to be red because of Man United, bro.
Forget Fosu Mensah. Do you want Luke Shaw left back against Bayern Munich?
Oh no, hell no.
And that's our first choice.
Yeah, regular. I think for me personally, all the people that we do need quite a lot. Everyone agrees with you about that, and everyone's literally saying the exact same. I think you have to get regular, man. The guy is 25 million euros apparently. So for me personally, and I would actually, what I said on the other show, I'd actually move Williams to right back cover because he's a right-footed player, and I just think, I think people are forgetting how good he was when he first actually came in. You know, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's making Shaw play better, he's pushing Shaw, etc." But that was because he first burst onto the scene. He had no fear then. Now he's got a bit more fear because he's understanding with a couple of bad games. You got that pressure on you, so he's more scared to take those same risks. Because when you first come in, you're fearless because you don't care if you make mistakes because you know you've got a blanket over you. Now that blanket's been taken away because sadly that's how we are. We don't protect our own players as easy as when we first come in. So I'd put my right back and have cover there because obviously Delow's going. Obviously we don't know what's happening with Force Manchester. So for me personally, we have to get a left back. Even the Smalling money and the Romero money combined is the price for Regulon. So it's like you're not even buying; it's almost free basically. If you do business properly.
Romero go for?
I think it was 8. Everyone in the chat saying 8 million. I think it's gone for.
Yeah, about 8.5.
Which is, and then obviously Smalley's
taking
going for
with that.
Yeah, I know. And Smalley's gone for about 15, or is going to go for 15, give or take. So
he's
that's
going
basically
back to Rome,
it's
happening now. I think DiMaggio's just said it's really close that now. I think that's probably going to be over the weekend that Smalling's gonna.
Okay.
So wait,
okay.
so we sold Romero to 8 mil for Villa, but these jokers want 90 for Grealish. What is going on?
Yeah,
that was exactly what I was saying.
I know.
We're an absolute joke in it. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're just taking the piss out of us, really. They're absolutely charging extortionate, right? Aston Villa, by the way, the team that just about stayed up, I've just mugged us off, basically, my opinion, because they needed a goalkeeper desperately. We didn't need Grealish desperately. We obviously needed him for squad depth. He's not going to come into the team and play first team football. Romero is a must for them. But Adam, I'll pass it to you regarding. We'll say priorities, and then we'll talk about our expectations for the season to finish.
Yo, guys, I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave you because I'm filming myself in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna have to leave you.
Adam,
make sure you subscribe to Aaron. He's going to record right now.
Top guys, man. Top guys.
Man. Thank you for coming on as always. We'll just finish it off there, Adam, in terms of obviously we'll do priorities and then we'll finish off with season expectations. So what do you think are priorities for you? Obviously everyone's got different views on that, obviously centre back, left back, that kind of thing. Where do you stand on that?
Right wing, centre forward, and you could pick any position in that back four, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And say, you know what, we need one. But like I said before, I know what we need. Looking at it, I just go, you know what? I know the players that are available are in the forward positions and possibly that holding midfield role. They're the ones that we know are available, and they're available at decent money.
Yeah.
Upamecano would be the one I'd go for at centre back, but we're not going to get him this summer. It's off. Yeah. It's off the table. It's not going to happen. I think they're living on the Werner money anyway, so they're not in any rush to sell. So forget that. Like Flawless said there, the man Partey, he's available, isn't he? He's got a buyout clause again.
45.
He's a destroyer. You know what? He just adds meanness to our team, don't he? You know, we ain't got a destroyer in our team. We ain't got anyone who can change the shape of a game by making a tackle, like a Roy Keane, someone like that who's just going to flatten someone, win the ball back, and get everyone up. We just don't have horrible players in our team. I want a mean guy back. I want someone who's just going to start winding people up again. Forwards, God, man, I'd have gone in on Cavani, mate.
There's one from Bournemouth, Adam.
No, there's not, mate. Shut your mouth. No, there's not.
Sorry,
I gone in. I'd have gone in on the Cavani on a free. I know his wages will be high, but like the boys have said, we're losing Igalo in January, and that's crunch time of the season. If we've not bought anyone, say this summer, or we don't get anyone in January, and we let Igalo go, and then we've got the latter stages of all the competitions, fighting for top four, trying to push on everything, and then we lose a Martial or a Rashford, it's season over. You know what I mean? It literally is, because we haven't got anyone there to score the goals. Yeah, you can say we've got more goals now from midfield. Bruno, Van der Beek's in there. That's brilliant. But at the end of the day, that front three is what's really shone over this when we've been post-lockdown. and it needs to be there. It needs cover. I don't see anyone coming through from the youth who is going to sort of cover that forward line role.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be a priority. The forward, centre forward, a general out and out centre forward, because if we're looking at changing formations, then we need a normal striker. And a normal striker is someone who's going to score the headers, someone who's going to score your 6-yard box goals, get on the end of a cross. But then again, I think Flo's touched on it before. We worry about width with what formation Ollie's going to play. So is there any point in having a centre forward like that? We're a bit too one-dimensional in the way we set up, and this comes down to Ollie, I think, and what he wants to do. The forwards are available. They're there. We know what the prices are. Go and get the business done. At the back, personally, Reguilón from Real Madrid is the one that sticks out for me. Yeah. Everyone else, I don't think we should be taking money away from what we really could be getting in the forward lines. I really don't. If there was one area of our team that I wouldn't be fussed about this season, I do know it needs rectifying, I would leave the defence. I know a lot of people are going to go, oh, that's a big shout, that. But
it is a big shout.
You know what? If we lose Martial, what are you saying?
God,
you know what I mean? We lose Maguire. We lose Maguire or Lindelof.
I've got a case here.
Similar sort of standard.
I've got a theory. I think this is what's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, a lot of people, some people are saying it in jest. We've still got James and obviously Lingard. I'm not going to mention James for now. But I think if you don't get a striker, I think basically what's going to happen is we're going to play a diamond. And we're going to, not at the start of the season, but obviously when we get injuries, we're going to play a diamond because obviously we've got a lot of players in the midfield. So hypothetically speaking, Fred and then Pogba and Van der Beek in the 8s, Bruno in the cam. And then obviously whoever's fit on front, basically, obviously you say Rashford and Greenwood, for example.
See, this fails on Aaron Wan-Bissaka on me then, because he's not good enough going forward.
That's why. That's exactly the problem
we have. But with the strikers, though, the thing is about March. The thing is, we have, to me, the perfect backup striker. That's why I don't want United to sign a striker, because Greenwood's a 9. If we go and sign Sancho, and Sancho's playing out there.
Yeah, that's it. Sancho fills in big gaps for us because you free up Greenwood in that sense.
And this is what I'm saying. And then boom, once then you have Sancho, Greenwood can then back up Martial. Rashford, if need be, could play as a 9 as well. So then you have 3. So it's like, all right, go and sign Sancho. Go and sign a holding midfielder. I've been on here before, Usmaan, and said anyone who's listened to me on any platform knows how big a fan I am of Thomas Partey. And I think he's the perfect fit. Like if there was a perfect player for what we need, I've obviously added on to what Adam said as well in terms of just Hulk smashing players, flattening players. He's built for the Premier League. He is built for the Premier League in the 90s. Never mind the Premier League now. He's perfect for what we need. And also what Thomas Partey does is adds insurance and help the defense out. So imagine we were to sign a Thomas Partey, a Sancho, and an Upamecano. We in dreamland. Just talking about it is in dreamland.
The flawless, come on, bro, man. The gas we can dream. They're going to start tweeting, and that's going to happen now.
Yo, we can dream. I'm already dreamt this already. Add a left back in there as well.
Chuck Messi in there, so go on.
Yeah, all right. Now you go too far. Now you go too far.
Get on to that guy.
The dreams got kind of away. Not even in my dreams of signing Messi. That's how peak it is. But I have got a question for you from the comments here. There's 2 players. People have mentioned Depay a lot in the comments. Marin, who's actually a Barcelona fan, mentioned Depay. Obviously, he knows him well. And also Akil, who's talked about Zaha. So, Adam, I'll pass it to you first on both of them, really, I guess. Would you take either Depay or Zaha back, basically?
I'd probably take Depay over Zaha, to be honest. I'm not a Zaha fan. I'm really not. I mean, look at his stats this season. For all the raving, and you know what I mean? He's crap. I understand what he brings. You know what? I understand what he brings to games. He's dangerous, but you know what I mean? I've never been up against Zaha and worried. There's other players I know, if they were coming up against me, then I'd be fearing. You know what I mean? If Sancho was running up against me or any of our defenders, then I'd be starting to worry a little bit. If Zaha, he just doesn't do it for me. He really doesn't do it. He had his chance. I know there was unforeseen circumstances around him. Ferguson left after he bought him. It just didn't go well for him. I know that. But for me, I'm not going with Zaha. I don't think I'd take Depay back for a chance at the right price. I think he has got a little bit more to offer than what Zaha has. But again, we're only talking about these guys in conversation if we didn't get Sancho, and Sancho just keeps coming up for me, and there's nothing. I can't get past Sancho. I really can't get past him. He's so key, and if something does happen on the blue half of Manchester and they do bring in Mr. You Know Who, then we need to, because it's been confirmed that Havertz is pretty much done for Chelsea now.
Done for Chelsea.
They're in. Do you know what I mean? If City go and get Messi, then United cannot sit still. It's impossible to sit still on that. You need to go out. You need to make a statement, because you can't hide behind COVID. You can't hide behind these finances. You've got Chelsea do. Chelsea have spent the Hazard and the Morata money now. Havertz coming in is a bonus on top. Do you know what I mean? This is extra money coming from the owners now. City doing what they're doing. If they somehow, I was hearing today that they're looking, their whole structure around Messi is based on him being at City for a few years, then going out to one of their feeder clubs to actually go and finish his career. They have a whole structure of a setup of how it's going to go down with Messi. So I would not be surprised if that happens. If that does happen, then it's, you know what I mean? We need something back. Yeah. It's going to be dangerous times again. And whatever we've done in the window so far, if that happens over there, then the gap just gets bigger. So you have to act on that. You have to bring in more quality, because that's them moving another 2 steps away from us. And I just don't see how United can afford to not move and get things done right now, because they'll know what's happening over there and they'll know if it's going to happen or not. So I think next couple of weeks, if it doesn't happen, then we're into desperation stages. And then that whole JK from Bournemouth conversation comes back up again, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People are mentioning Dembele at Lyon there as well.
I think he's a bit of a more respectable shout, to be fair, for Malcolm, saying Dembele, obviously, he scored against City. I think for me personally, and this has been a bit of an issue with me in general, we seem like we're too reactionary. We're Manchester United, again, I don't want to sound like an arrogant person, because we're not the same Man United we were in 2013. But in terms of, we need to be going out and saying the statements. We shouldn't be looking at Man City or what Chelsea are doing and then reacting to what they're doing. Oh, they've signed X, Y, and Z. Oh, we should already have the ambition that, we need to sign Sancho. Sancho should, obviously, we know it should have been done ages ago. But regardless if Man City get Messi or not, Sancho is one of the players similar to Bruno that he can elevate the whole team. You know, you've got so many match winners in that team, and then you got Van der Beek off the bench as well. If some of these guys aren't having a good game, the amount of quality we've got going forward, we could probably arguably get away with just signing Sancho, and then the front four is set. This is what I said. The front four is set for the next 10 years, arguably. Obviously, I know Marcel will be touching 33, 34. So, but the other lads are literally 19, 19, and 22. So you can have a front nine for the next 10 years playing together. So I just, honestly, guys, it's an absolute joke that it's not been done. But just to pass it to you, Flo, and just before I do pass it to you, regarding Zaha, I don't agree with anything you said on Zaha. I think he's an absolute baller, honestly, God. And he absolutely terrorizes this season. When we played him not so long ago, obviously I know you can completely disagree, but I'm not saying we should bring him back. I'm not saying that, but I do respect his ability to in a 1v1. Unless it's against Wan-Bissaka, then I fancy Wan-Bissaka. But I'll pass it to you, Flores, regarding Depay, and obviously Zaha, and obviously you can talk about Sancho as well.
Yeah, I get what Adam's saying in regards to you can't defend Zaha's stats this season at all.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of him.
I agree.
Like I'm a big when we originally signed him, I was very happy about signing him. I think Moyes just completely mismanaged him. Obviously, Fergie leaving after Fergie signed him didn't help, but his stats obviously can't be defended. But if it was a choice between those two, I'm taking Zaha all day. Like I think he's a great winger, quick, fast, strong. And one thing we forget at Crystal Palace is everything is literally on you. Like there is no other threat whatsoever. It's literally
they got like 3 players on him, literally.
It's literally get the ball to Zaha and you have to do something. They had Benteke playing up top who didn't score for however many months. Yeah. I know he was injured. You're playing in a Roy Hodgson team, and we know Roy Hodgson is the definition of pragmatic. So in regards to that,
how has this guy not been signed up by anyone yet?
Zaha, I don't
What's
get
going on? What is the deal with it? What's going on there? Something's wrong.
Adam, he was meant to be going to Arsenal. He did an interview recently with Rio Ferdinand, and he basically spoke about everything, his situation at Man United, situation at Arsenal. Basically, he was meant to go to Arsenal. What happened was, Palace said to him, "You give us one more year, and then we allow you to go to Arsenal the year after." And then basically they promised him. And I'm not sure. I'm not blaming that for his poor season, because I agree with you. His stats have been shit. But he got priced out. Like people are saying in the comments, people they wanted like 85 million for him, which obviously we know is ridiculous. And he had a long contract, so it's kind of similar to the Pogba situation for us, obviously, in terms of he wants to go to Real Madrid, as we all know. And then we just basically priced him out. So I think that's why he's at Palace. He's kind of just stuck there, really, sadly, for him.
And that's the key thing right there. There is something. It's one of them where you look at it and you're like, how has nobody signed you? I look at Zaha, how I'm kind of looking at Thomas Partey this summer, when I'm like, you have a minimum fee release clause, and it's baffling. I'm like, maybe there is something there. Maybe other teams don't rate him as highly as we do. And in regards to Depay, I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan when United had him. I've seen him play in the Champions League for Lyon, and I look at him and I'm like, you do nothing for me whatsoever. Like, what I look at you and I'm like, what's the hype? I don't get it. I watched them even when they played City and they beat City. You were non-existent. Like, I don't remember you doing anything. I'm like, all right, show me.
He's too busy doing this to the blue side of Manchester. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I rate him for that. I always respect him for that. But in terms of bringing him back, I said this because my bro in it is a massive fan of him. Lives by Depay. He's like, we mismanaged him, quality player.
It's like you've touched it there. The only reason the conversation is coming up is because we are living in a reality that we're scared we're not going to get a Sancho. They say these guys are getting nowhere near him. So it's like you said, if you have to pick, then we don't want to pick any.
We don't want to pick
Sancho.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
It's a no-brainer.
Just to finish off, obviously, I know it's just gone over an hour, so we know we do an hour. I just want to hear your expectations for the season. I kind of deliberately asked the question regarding the transfers, because I wanted to set it up in terms of we've got one signing. So just to clarify before people clip this up at the end of the season or whatever nonsense, this is on the 2nd of August and we've only signed one player, which is Van der Beek. So obviously you don't need to do any predictions, but like, what are your expectations going into the season?
Oh no, I'll give you my exact prediction, mate. I'll tell you exactly what I want from this. Yeah, United within single figures of City and Liverpool. United on a Champions League run to the quarters. I want trophy. If Ole doesn't get in the top 4, he's sacked. It's as simple as that. That's basically breaking everything down. We need a trophy. We need to be in single figures of the top 2. And this is if he gets who we are hoping he should be getting. You know what I mean? He's got an excuse if he doesn't get the players. If he gets everyone in that we know we are going to get or we're reportedly linked with, then that's the minimum requirement. Simple as. I don't expect us to win the league. I'm nowhere near that, but I am keeping it real by saying I think if you can get that deficit down to single figures, then I think that's a realistic look. Because second half of the season, we think we're in total about 8 points behind Liverpool and City. So you've got to do it for a full season. But to do that, it's like we said, boys, you need a squad because them games are coming thick and fast. There's no winter break. So for me, trophy, 3rd. If he doesn't get it, if he doesn't get top 4, which will be a catastrophe, see you later. Bye-bye.
Fair enough. Adam, to be fair, I love the honesty straight in there, no hesitation. A lot of people giving you love, as you can imagine, and not pissing about. That's what we love to see. Flawless, what do you reckon? Do you echo that sentiment, or do you have a slightly different approach?
What's in the hypothetical? What is, because the season's not started yet, what is the squad? What are we talking? I've already gone out.
Exactly. So as things stand, obviously, that's why I give the day out. Because if we sign 3 players in, I don't know, 2 weeks, obviously your expectations for the season will change, don't they?
Well, I've gone out on a limb already before this anyway and said, I believe Sancho's coming in. I firmly believe. I've already convinced myself Sancho's coming in. I tweeted it out. I said, don't worry, man. Just everyone relax. Sancho's coming in. I do believe that will happen.
Exclusive, you heard it here first.
Exclusive, innit? Yeah, Fabrizio told me. But in
Fabrizio Flawless.
Yeah, this guy. But in the what's it called? This guy put me off now. I forgot where I was going. But yeah, in this hypothetical, if we just have Donny van der Beek, I think all he's hit his ceiling. So I'm just expecting a top 4, to be honest. Like if he don't finish top 4, he should be sacked. If we finish top 4, he's done his job because I don't think he can do any more. He's never gonna win us a major trophy. He might be able to nick a League Cup, a FA Cup, a Europa League. But in terms of winning or challenging for a Champions League or Premier League, I don't think he's good enough. So I can't be mad at you for doing the best you can.
Yeah.
I don't expect the footballing to improve. I don't expect the football to improve. I don't expect your in-game management to improve. So
You
I
got to
can't
look
really
at
expect
it.
more.
Like Flores said then, if United go out and get Sancho now, all his spend's creeping up to 400 million.
Yeah, it's a lot. Quality
So,
players as well. They're like, you can't really defend him if he doesn't get top 4 with that team.
Hey,
So I do
me.
agree.
I said it on your show when we were talking about, is this the last dance for Ollie, just before the Leicester game, and I said if he doesn't finish in the top 4 or win the Europa League, he should be sacked. And I think it's the same. I legit think it's the same. Like, if he don't finish top 4 this coming season with what he has and his skill set, he should be sacked. I don't expect much more from him. I think he's hit his ceiling.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, just to wrap it up, I can't disagree with anything you've both said in terms of top 4 is definitely just a bare minimum. Like, I don't think anyone could argue otherwise, because with the team he's got, unless we have so many injuries and it's absolutely ridiculous. Even if you have quite a few injuries in the midfield, we're still quite blessed now with the quality we've got in depth. So I still think we'll probably get away with it. In terms of trophy, I think for me personally, it's the trophy that he needs to win for me. I think, rival fans, we've not won a trophy in, I don't know, they keep quoting the days or whatnot.
Okay, so let me hit you with a hypothetical then. If United finish 5th but win the FA Cup, would you sack him?
Yeah, I'd sack him.
Okay.
I'd personally
goals. Van Gaal did it.
Van Gaal, because I'd be a hypocrite because I said Van Gaal should get sacked on the basis of that.
I'm just asking.
I
agree.
No, that's fair enough. At the end of the day, look, the board at the moment are the people that need to take the brunt of the responsibility if they don't sign another 2-3 players. But at the same time, he still has got enough to get to top 4, at least 4th. And I'm not saying he needs to be that close if he doesn't sign anybody else. But come on, look at that midfield, man. That's better than any team in the league. Most teams in the league, as we were discussed. And even the front 3, it's not like it's bad, is it? We've still got options like, Jay Lings with that 1 goal to clinch the top 4 spot. You love to see it. That Jay Lings. But listen, I'm gonna leave it there. I just want to say a massive thank you to both my guest boys. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Obviously, a bit longer than we expected. As always, make sure you show them love in the links below. And obviously, Aaron was here as well in case you've just signed in or if you just tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to all the boys. Make sure you subscribe to us. Continue to grow the channel. And obviously, hopefully, the next time we have the guys on, we've got some positive news. We've signed 5 players, but obviously, that's not going to happen. So, anyways, this has been your boy, Usmaan. Peace. Thank you very much for tuning in.